She gnawed on pieces of coal and tore down the curtains from the windows while he shook his head. Sir Charles, the 10th Baronet of Mordaunt, no longer believed his wife. "Your crazy wife," people told him, "just doesn't understand what she's doing." But Charles was convinced otherwise. The beautiful lady was fully aware of everything. She was trying to avoid divorce and scandal. After all, the son of Queen Victoria was involved. The Warwickshire story caused quite a stir. Journalists loved such topics. To make matters worse, none other than Albert Edward, the heir to the throne, was implicated. Everyone knew that Bertie the Bounder, as he was sometimes called in the family, had a great fondness for beautiful women. Could he resist such a lively beauty as Harriet Moncrieff Mordaunt? This lady was born in Scotland in the mid-19th century. The Baronet Moncrieff fathered 16 children, half of whom were daughters. And what daughters they were! All remarkably beautiful. The wife of the British Prime Minister, Emma Margot Asquith, later recalled, "The Moncrieff beauties could be seen in the salons of London. There's nothing like them today." The Moncrieffs had long been well acquainted with the royal family. The baronet's daughters attended celebrations at Balmoral and Sandringham, residences of the ruling dynasty, since childhood. As they grew older, they enjoyed dancing at royal balls. 15-year-old Harriet was a star at these events. She was also invited to more exclusive parties hosted by the Prince of Wales and his wife at Abergeldy Castle. When it was time for Harriet to marry, they found her a suitor in Sir Charles Mordaunt. He was a Conservative MP for South Warwickshire, a balanced and stern man, fully immersed in his work. He preferred sitting in Parliament, hunting, or fishing over waltzing with a young wife. However, after their marriage, he made an effort to become part of high society. He attended balls and receptions. But he quickly grew bored with such entertainments, and Lady Mordaunt began to venture out on her own. She seemed overflowing with happiness. Her husband was wealthy and influential, didn't restrict her spending. He completely renovated and expanded their home in Warwickshire, which boasted 72 bedrooms, and allowed her to spend her time as she pleased. Yet their lives flowed parallel to each other. One time, Charles went fishing in Norway, and when he returned, the servants rushed to inform him that his wife had been entertaining another man, Viscount Cole. They had stayed up late. The baronet demanded an explanation, but Harriet denied everything. For several days, he meticulously questioned the numerous servants. Soon it became clear that the lady was with child, and the baronet, logically, began to doubt his paternity. But how could he prove his suspicions? The word of a servant against that of a lady. A girl was born, Violet. The doctors sadly announced that the child might completely lose her sight due to an infection. Would you like me to explain how that happened? Upon hearing this news, Harriet fainted. When she regained consciousness, she fell at her husband's feet. Yes, she had deceived him. She begged for forgiveness and hurriedly named a few names, Viscount Cole and the Prince of Wales. The baronet opened his wife's writing desk and discovered letters from the heir to the throne. Their tone was more playful than romantic, but that was enough. Charles Mordaunt filed for divorce and didn't hide who had helped shatter his marital bliss. A major social scandal was brewing. Harriet's family was the first to react. Her father immediately announced in the press that his daughter had lost her mind and had implicated herself under pressure from her husband. Lady Mordaunt indeed began to behave strangely. She constantly screamed, dramatically chewed on pieces of coal, and tore her clothes and upholstery. "Your crazy wife," people told the baronet, "just doesn't understand what she's confessing to." Charles replied that it was all a cheap farce. They were clearly in cahoots. The lady's father was worried about the family's reputation. He had 3 other daughters to marry off. Who would want to take them after such an unpleasant scandal? To sort everything out, the Prince of Wales should come to court and share what he knew. Queen Victoria did everything in her power to prevent her son from getting involved in the case. But even she couldn't do anything. The scandal had already erupted. Thus, the future King Edward VII appeared in court for the Mordaunt divorce proceedings. He stated that he had known Lady Harriet since childhood, that they had communicated and corresponded, but their relationship had never gone beyond friendship. The same was said by Viscount Cole, who was also called to testify. The case fell apart, and Charles Mordaunt committed his wife to a specialized clinic. After 5 years, waiting for the fuss to settle down, the baronet attempted to divorce again. This time he managed to get the long-awaited acknowledgement from the Viscount. Yes, it had happened. There was no need to summon the prince, and the Mordaunt marriage was quietly annulled. The mad wife remained under medical supervision until nearly the end of her life. Her daughter, Violet, completely and rapidly recovered from her eye condition. Doctors had simply misdiagnosed the girl's health. Little Lady Violet was sent to be raised by her grandfather, and when she grew up, she married the Marquis of Bath quite successfully. The Baronet Mordaunt was not invited to that wedding. Divorced Charles Mordaunt remarried, this time to a clergyman's daughter. To this day, no one knows whether Harriet was truly mad or simply trying to protect her family's good name. Her grandson was said to be one of the most handsome men of his time, and rumor has it, he caught the eye of a certain royal lady. But that's a whole different story. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, give a like, and thank you for your comments.